but we work it out because we know there's a foundation of love. In so many other places in our life, we may just say, I'm going to leave this relationship or this friendship or this person, or I'm just going to avoid this. We really create a container to honor our personalities and uniqueness and differences and grow together and talk about our spiritual practices in our everyday lives. And that's what happens really more in our classes and workshops, book studies. We take the teaching and we apply it in a very practical way in our lives. And it creates a really supportive environment where if people are willing to be vulnerable and to share and get that support and open themselves up, we can learn from each other, and we can learn from each other's examples and stories of, not somebody saying, oh, you should try this, but like, well, for me, when I noticed this come up, I asked, oh, perhaps where am I feeling not good enough? Or, noticing what that button or trigger may be within and using it as an opportunity to shift and heal and grow and awaken to a higher perspective.
Yeah, I so relate to that. I don't know if I mentioned to you that I study A Course in Miracles, and I've been studying it for almost 20 years. And before the pandemic, I was from 2008 to 2020, I was going to a spiritual discussion group every Sunday morning. And we were in a circle, and it was just what you described in terms of how we related to each other and the different types of backgrounds and faiths and, just cultures that were in this circle. And it really just opened me up. And I found that we could bond even if we had different perspectives. It was a very trusting, loving, you could feel the spirituality in the air. You could feel the love. It was just so palpable by the time we got to the end of our time together on those Sunday mornings. So I really understand what you're saying. And it does bring people closer together. It does help you to be able to trust each other more and opens you up to communication. So how about themes that may come up at this point in time? It is this month of January. Just someone said to me last night, this year came in hard.
Oh, yeah. Hard and fast.
Right. And we are still in it. And and even also I'm in a email group, a daily spiritual email group. And someone was just talking about just the climate right now and the way that she's receiving it and experiencing it, and just the weight that she's feeling. And I'm just wondering what types of themes and ideas are members of your community talking about?
Yes, it is definitely a big part of the conversation right now, with everything that's occurring politically, with there being so much divisiveness, so much separation and fear and projection and judgment being outpictured in the world. And so with a large amount of the people in our community that identify in one way or another, perhaps as a group that is more marginalized systemically, or being affected by some of the proposed laws and changes. A lot of people are scared and confused. Other people are frustrated and angry and upset, hurting for others. And on top of all of that, coming together to say, okay, so what is ours to do, right? How do we navigate being authentic with those feelings and not spiritually bypassing, and hold the vision of the world we wish to see? Doing the inner work so that we can be in that place to create on a collective level, which we desire, a world that's more equitable, where peace and unity and love and joy and freedom and harmony are honored for all people, all beings, including our planet. So there is a large aspect of sacred activism in the community and taking personal responsibility, doing our own work, but not doing it just to like manifest the good things in our life, but in order to share that love and to be in that position to help others in need, and to know that sometimes we may be the one in need. And how can we be willing to ask for support when we need it, give when we have the availability to give. And it really takes the willingness of those in the community to be vulnerable and to participate in both of those ways. Because sometimes it's natural for people to want to withdraw when they're not quite feeling as yay, because it is a very kind of positive spirituality teaching that can have you come together on a Sunday morning, and we have the music and the inspirational message and the celebration and the love and the hugs, that sometimes people are like, oh, I'm not feeling that, I'm just going to stay home. And what I've really been encouraging in the space that we have been shifting towards is one where wherever you are, show up and get the love. Just show up. If
That's
you show up
powerful.
in your pajamas because you barely could get up that day, but you showed up, we are here for you. And honoring all the feelings, honoring that somebody may be walking in from whatever they just experienced, feeling some sort of way. So how to create an environment that honors all of that. It's tricky. The day we're kind of being inspired in the moment with what the community needs. So the day of going back to, I guess, the day after the election. So the day that morning, when the election results were out, we opened the space. I was like, hey, I'm going to be here from noon to 3, called on some other leaders who could be there in the evening. No agenda, just show up, be yourself, whatever you're feeling. It will be a space to be together in this place of love and to feel your feelings. So it's like, we're not coming together to just complain or blah, blah, vent. You could do that with your friend anytime. And we're not coming together to just walk in and we're just going to meditate and pray and zone it out. We're going to come and we're going to oh, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. I mean, people walked in the doors and I just gave them a hug, and several people just, kind of wept in my arms and just like, oh, I didn't even know I needed that release of just the comfort of someone, right? And then the conversations were kind of all over, and I noticed some people were like, well, what are we going to do? How are we going to organize? What are we going to do? And other people were like, I'm not there yet, and so just kind of navigating that space for everyone. Then similarly, the night of the inauguration, we hosted a watch event. We had people come, and I like to we have coffee and tea and some popcorn, get out snacks. Food can be something we can be very healing and nurturing as well. And just creating that really community and a space for community to gather. So yes, our main big thing is a Sunday morning experience. We have a Wednesday night online meditation and discussion group. We have classes and workshops. What the community is, what I'm noticing and wanting to provide more, the community is needing now is a space to be together, to be vulnerable, authentic, share, support, and just be with others that they can feel safe with, when sometimes the world is starting to feel a little less safe.
Yeah.
And I want to end, I also, it's like, I want to create a context and a space for the vision and the hope to drive us forward, and communicate the need for self-care and and all of that. So there's so much nuance. There's a little bit of everything, but that's where I feel like the unique space we're providing and what we're talking about doing starting next week and somewhat ongoing too is just having more nights and times to be open for people to come together, share, maybe share some of the bills or the things, because there's stuff happening on the state level too that especially are affecting the trans community, the LGBT community, and other people in our community at Ahava might not be aware of that. So then we can share the information, let people know this is why, some people may be feeling some sort of way. We're going to hold the vision for what we desire. We can use our spiritual practices. We can also say, what do you need?
Mm-hmm.
How can we be of support? And there may not be an answer.
Yeah.
But just being there and being heard and seen and acknowledged. And, they say even just existing is an act of resistance sometimes when you live in a body that is othered.